Welcome guys to John's Football Channel. In this video I'd like to just come on here and let's just talk about Chelsea and how things are going, and basically talk about the future of how Chelsea should be run and what are the processes and the steps that we are going to follow in order for us to get our football club in the right path, for us to actually go and compete with trophies again and be the team that we all fell in love with back in the day when we actually enjoyed watching our team play. So let's get into it. Obviously, we since last year, we've Chelsea has been around for 120 years, and I think we actually have moved a long way. I mean, considering where um, we weren't really the best team in the country, and then for us to move with a Abramovich era, for us to get those trophies and get these victories, um, and be actually starts everyone taking us as a real team. I think that's where with the tables turn, and then that's where we become the men and the team that most other teams fear. So I think that's where we want to be. That's the team that we supported, a team that never says we give up, we lose. No, we always have a stand and a level to actually compete with, and expectations of ourselves where we want to be. Obviously, with Liam Messina busy commenting and saying that because of this hectic schedule, it is one of the reasons why Chelsea's form has dipped. Um, I would say possibly, possibly to an extent, but if we look at the teams around us, they haven't really dropped form. They haven't dropped consistency as well. Yes, we could say that they had a better team than us. If we look at Arsenal, we know they have a better team. They have a bigger squad. Man City as well. If we look at Aston Villa don't have a bigger team than us. I think we should be having a better team than them. I mean, the players that we have, our second base players should be competing with their first. But I think maybe we also, in a way, because of the players we have bought or the owners have bought, it may look that way, but maybe it's not the case. I mean, if we think about just our wingers in general, we know we don't have the best wingers at all. I think our wingers deserve to be maybe around. I don't think they even fit in the top 10 of the Premier League. Um, Neto, yes, I can agree. Yes, Neto does the. I think he can be a good player, but I never see Neto as a great player. I mean, there's times where he does score. There's times where he does do his thing, but there's other times where I think he's not. We don't. You're not scared every time with Neto. I mean, there's times where yes, he would have some pace, he would have some speed, but there's not much dribbling. There's not much um, creativity, I would say. I mean, if we think of let's think of Doku, if we think of Bakaya, if we think of um, all these other wingers, we would see they have more creativity than Neto, and I think that's unfortunately why we're not where we need to be. And I think that's one of the reasons why we are not where we want because of the players that we don't have. Um, I think I trust my midfield. I trust Enzo. I trust Casero to get the job done. I think maybe it's a case of because we are not attacking correctly and killing our teams, we're allowing them too long in the game to understand us and actually get a grip of the game and turn the whole game around because we're not actually taking our chances. Now that's the way I would see it. Um, Let me know down below what you guys think. I think that could be the reason, obviously, because of the quality of the team. We know this because we know the owners keep buying youngsters. We have no experience, no elite experience, like a Thiago Silva, like a John Terry. Um, all these players who knew how to get around the box, get around the midfield, get around those games where we could be losing, we could be lacking a bit of um, experience, basically. Then obviously we have also have talks of, obviously we have heard of Enzo Lee wanting to leave, him not being quite sure. I mean, that would be a big blow for us, knowing that how much we spent for him. And he hasn't been there very that long. He has spent a couple of seasons here, but it's not like how can you lose a quality player like this all of a sudden? I mean, his experience is coming through now. I mean, this is where at his age, his experience is not going to start to shine now after this season, I think, because once you start hitting 27, 28, 29, I mean, that's where you get to one of your peak seasons of experience. And I think that's where we need to keep these players. Yes, obviously, Enzo, if you think of all these players that we have nurtured and gave them opportunity to say, okay, make mistakes, you have made mistakes, but now let's see what you have learned from your mistakes and how can you take the football club forward. I think this is the time where we need to keep Enzo grounded, we need to keep him in our team, because this is the time where it's vital for his experience to come into the fold and actually help us win games. And then we also know we also have question of Caicedo. We know Caicedo, luckily in a sense, he has rejected any claims of him having any talks with Real Madrid. But yet again, I mean, both teams Real Madrid are both looking to get both our players. We know that cannot happen. These are two quality players that we need in our football club. But if it is going to be some person to leave, honestly, I don't know if you will all agree, but I would rather keep Caicedo than Enzo. I think Enzo I would like to keep. I think he's a lot more better than Enzo in a sense. Or the player that we need more. If Enzo was more of a Fabregas role, if he played those balls more frequently, then yes, maybe it could be in the conversation. Who do we need more? Who do we need to stay? If one had to go, who would be that player to leave? But for me personally, I think it would be Caicedo. Caicedo has to stay in order for our team to ever have a chance of holding on to some form of quality and standards. Then also we have seen shout out to Yunus Talks Football and Minerals, who have mentioned and spoke about the Chelsea FC and the ownership arrangements, about the Blues investments and the Blueco 22 holdings. He managed to break it down as to exactly what's most likely an option for the football club. As for the owners, are they able to sell? Where are we standing in that perspective? We know that there's a 10-year thing of them not able to sell, but it's also a question of can they do certain things in that 10-year period? Yeah, guys, I would really recommend you guys going to watch the video on that. They definitely break it up and explain further on this thing on as to what can be done and how things actually could be shaping up for the football club. It is a question of does the owners take one of these options? Do they take the option of, if they have an option to sell, do they sell? Is it an option of, okay, do they just hold it in? They know that we are not really happy with their performance. Do they hold it in for the next 6 years or so, and actually do whatever they want after that? It is a question. How do we look at our football club now? I think we're also in a way worried that at any moment it could change. All of a sudden they could be selling pieces of our club to other owners. Obviously, I don't think it can be many owners. I think maybe it could be one or two, but I don't think they can stretch it that far and say maybe 4 or 5 owners can exactly be all holding us. I think obviously we can only hope for a very big owner, an owner that can really afford Chelsea Football Club and able to afford to put the whole football club together if we had to get an owner. I think maybe the next thing that we were all saying blue car out, and we all want these owners out of our football club, seeing that they're not. I think also to an extent, I think we need to find a reason. Yes, we want them out, but is there a way that I think obviously they should be looking at this as well. Is there a way that they could be happy financially, as well as helping us achieve our aspirations of goals and standards for the football club? Is there a way that we both can coexist together, or is it just either one or the other? So I think that's the question. I think a part of me would want that. I think hopefully the owners are able to do so. This thing of changing owners in and out is not good. But I suppose if there's a rotten apple in our football club, we might as well get rid of it. Rip off the band-aid. Let us get rid of this problem. We do not want to be like a Spurs in a relegation battle. So if there are the problem, which clearly you could clearly see to an extent there are, then let's get rid of them. If we could, I think we can only make so much noise. We can only damage their image to the world, and hopefully they actually sell up, and actually we actually get another owner that actually can able to financially, not obviously we need an owner who financially is secure, doesn't have to be worried about making more money. If he makes more money, he can, and he'll be happy to do so. But an owner who knows he's loaded, and an extra loss of 100,000 or maybe 100 million is not going to make much to his difference to his pocket and bank account. So I think that's the owner we need for Chelsea Football Club. We can only hope that we can get someone. I think maybe the thing what we need to start doing is having a look at all the rich people in the world that are actually interested in getting or acquiring football clubs, and actually seeing if we can get a list of owners together that maybe would be well suited to us and would actually want to take us over if the chance arrives. So yeah, guys, this is my news video of how Chelsea are. It is a question of where do we go from now? What are the steps and procedures? Hopefully we're able to, the more this drags on, we actually have more of an idea where would the football club be heading. We can only hope that it goes in the right direction for us. So yeah, guys, this is my news video. Peace.